have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
Your home for Super Bowl 59. WGSX Lynn Haven, WFIL2 Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get ready. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
Live and local.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
This thing is going to be a financial and cultural disaster.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Whopper, 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 whopper.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes, along with the Bone Crusher, and it's just the two of we this afternoon, as Caveman Rick had a lot going on at work this afternoon, and we've got a slate full of guests. This afternoon, we're going to go down to the local 115 as they have their soft openings this afternoon, and we'll talk with Kyle Vandergrift. Then we're going to shoot on over to Orlando as we talk with Alan Watson. He's the owner of Golf Plus, and they've got a lot of things going on over there for, I believe, the PGA event that's going on. Not necessarily the golf tournament, but just kind of showcasing new clubs and all of the good golf accessories that you guys can expect from Golf Plus. And at 4:40, we're going to talk with the Gulf Coast State College women's head coach, Rory Kuhn. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll go to Jacksonville, talk to Sam Kavaris about the Jaguars and some of the other head coaching hires, as it is official that Liam Cohen has backtracked on his backtracking with the Buccaneers and will be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll find out how Sam feels about that. Then at 5:20 from the rest of the show, it'll be Jack Patterson, Tony Super, and the Nelsonizer as we get you guys ready for Wrestling Against Cancer 10. I do want to give a big shout out and congratulations to Jesslyn Garza on winning the 2025. We would say that it's annual, but we don't annually get snow around this area. We had a Bone Crusher put up on our Facebook page a snowman picture contest, and then we narrowed the 100 pictures that we got down to 8, and we had you guys go and vote by liking the pictures, and Jesslyn Garza's little girls got 150 some odd likes for their picture, and she won $25 to Major Smokehouse and $25 to not the, but that boot store. So congratulations to them. Great stuff there. Also, great stuff is if you go get the ESPN Northwest Florida app and you hit the enter contest button, you'll have your opportunity to get into the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. That's your chance to win 2 passes to watch the Orlando Magic take on the Sacramento Kings. That game will be Saturday, March 29th. You're going to be watching it from a luxury suite. You're going to get free food during the game, and your hotel is included in the ultimate road trip. What are we doing? We're taking a busload of sports fanatics to ride the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express, and all you got to do, open up that ESPN Northwest Florida app. If you don't have it, go to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store, type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and crush the enter contest button. That is brought to you by PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Holland Hearts, and Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home to Suites. Orlando Magic did end up falling to the Portland Trail Blazers last night. Franz Wagner got his first action in nearly 20 games, but that was not enough to lift the Orlando Magic to victory. We'll have a few games from the Magic playing selectly throughout the season. We are your official radio home for Super Bowl 59. That's ESPN Northwest Florida. And we've got your AFC and NFC championship right here, covered starting at 1 o'clock this coming Saturday for some great, or this Sunday, actually. Sunday. We don't have any Saturday and Sunday games anymore. It is just Sunday for the NFC championship, covered starting at 2 p.m. kickoff. And then the Bills and the Chiefs, the nightcap, cover starting at 5, or the kickoff will be actually at 5:30. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Give us a holler this afternoon via text at 850-215-6290. We're also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can like and share our Facebook feed and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can download the app and register, and make sure that you enter the contest 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I thought we were going to be live from Orlando, but Alan Watson is actually in the building with us, which will make this upcoming segment even that much more fun. The 6th annual George Mulligan Memorial Wrestling Tournament is going to be this weekend, the 24th and the 25th, over there at Bay High. Weigh-ins are going to be starting at 7:30 in the morning, and wrestling starts at 9. There's going to be lots of good food in the concession stand, so you can stay all day and enjoy wrestling from all over the state. They're going to have wrestling on Saturday and Sunday over there at Bay High. Make sure that you go down and support the George Mulligan Memorial Wrestling Tournament. That is the 6th annual tournament, and Coach Deaton does a great job over there. Also, some big news: the 11-year-old fan who found the one-of-one Paul Skeens rookie debut patch auto card is going to send it into auction. Remember, the Pirates offered 30 years worth of season tickets behind home plate. They offered a opportunity to watch a game with Libby Dunn in the suite. They offered a 30-player softball package at PNC Park. They offered a boatload of stuff, but this young man's from California. What in the world is he going to do with 30 years worth of season tickets to watch Paul Skeens? And Paul Skeens is probably not going to be a Pirate for that much longer unless they do their due diligence and build around him. Let's go down to Harrison Avenue, or downtown Panama City rather, to talk with Kyle Vandergriff over there at the local 115. Kyle, how's it going, my man?
Hey, what's going on? I'm here with one of my partners, Justin Nyland, that's with me as well.
And that's you guys together do the local podcast, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, man. We drove down.
Hey, there you go. What's y'all's favorite part? This was y'all's first season or first year of doing the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Man, let me just tell you real quick. You know, me and Kyle, we were sitting there looking around, and I said, man, I miss playing sports. And he was like, yeah, but you're too fat. And I said, well, you're too lazy to coach, so what do we got to do? A podcast.
Exactly.
Hey, well, it works out, man, and it gets you back into the thick of things. I enjoyed listening to a few of the episodes that you guys did. You do a great job, and anything that shines a light on what we have going on locally is huge, and that's exactly what the local 115 is, right? So soft opening started last night and continues on tonight. Now, is that a thing for the public, or is it by invite only? How are the soft openings working?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anybody can go to it. We just want some really positive feedback. But the grand opening will officially be tomorrow.
You know, we were just working out the kinks, you know.
Exactly.
You know, over the last couple of days, we're putting in different menu items, kind of getting feedback from our friends and families because they'll tell us the truth, you know.
But also at the same time, we're stressing the equipment, we're stressing the staff, we're stressing the...
We're not restaurant guys.
No, we're builders. Construction guys.
So we're learning a lot.
Oh, man, how about that transition? Because I kind of did the opposite. Before I got into radio, I was always working in restaurants, and then finally said, you know what, I had enough of it. Then I got into doing awnings, and I got into painting, and then finally got blessed into an opportunity into doing this. But how has that been, that transition going from being in construction, kind of being hands-on? And it's not like you're not hands-on in the restaurant industry, but it's a different type of a hands-on. What's the transition been like for you guys?
Let me grab this. I'll tell you one time. We got a great team. We hired a GM, and that's got a fantastic resume. You know, was at Red Elephant, Missions Barbecue, has the yacht club.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. You know, he's got a track record. And you know, as business owners of multiple businesses in town, Justin and I have always have the same idea of, we put good people in good positions. You pay them good to do good things. And that's what we're kind of doing here on our next step of entrepreneurial.
And we got an all-star in the kitchen, too.
Oh, Chef Josh is
he's
fantastic, dude. Fantastic. And then, we've got, we got a little oyster connoisseur with Aaron Outlaw helping us out, but AJ Rodriguez as the GM, Josh Carroll in the kitchen, and Aaron Outlaw helping us out with the oyster connoisseur thing. I think we've got a pretty good recipe for success.
Because they don't want construction guys running a restaurant.
But like you said, man, you pay people right, and you get the right people in the right positions. And you guys know, because you are sports guys, it doesn't matter if you're out of shape now. You were, at one point in time, you were a part of a team. And once you've been a part of a team and taste that recipe for success, you can use that in other ventures of life. And I think that's what we all who have taught sports or talk about sports, whatever, that's what we relish about sports is the fact that we can use these things that we learned when we were young in so many different avenues of life. So I really love the story right there, guys. And grand opening again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Now tell everyone where you're located, the local 115.
Yeah, we were very original on the name. 115 is the address. It's 115 Harrison, just so no one forgets. And local is just our brand. We're here to promote, the local people. Me growing up, my coaches were like my dad, and just to give back to the community that we love, and just have a place where we could share stories and build new stories. We plan on opening this up for coaches to be able to, have pregame meals there and maybe some award ceremonies. It's really just us trying to give back our civil rent back to the community we love so much.
Man, that is a fantastic answer, and it's going to be hard because one of my later questions was going to be, what exactly does 115 stand for? And finding out that it's the address, that is great, man. The local 115. Y'all go check them out tomorrow for the grand opening tomorrow at 11 a.m. So tell me, what are some of y'all's, Justin and Kyle, what are some of y'all's favorite items on the menu that you've been going through over the last couple of days and really just kind of working your menu into the palate, if you will?
Well, I'll grab this one. Listen, our oysters are fire, okay? It don't get no better. We are perfecting a crab cake, and everything's clean living here, David. So there's nothing fried, bro. There is 100% either self-contained, steamed, baked. We're not using any sort of heavy oils or anything like that. So I'd say the crab cakes. I'd say we've got a killer wing with buffalo as well as Parmesan.
The real thing is we don't have a massive menu because we don't have a huge kitchen. So we just picked a couple, 10 or 15 things that are really good, and we're just going to make those things. We don't have one of those Applebee's menu that's 17 pages. We just got, a small menu of good stuff. You know what I mean?
And that boils it down. Go ahead.
Yeah, but also, too, I was going to tell you, we, us and the partners got together and we decided to buy a salad bar, too, for the lunch crowd, something that we really don't have downtown. And so that's going to be something really cool for, like, the grab-and-go option if you're on the run as well. Not just, a sit-down dining type deal.
Yeah, there you go. And it's really awesome. Like you mentioned the word clean and not having the fried foods and everything. And it kind of seems like that's where we're at in today's age of, getting a little bit further away from the fried foods, but having a smaller menu. A lot of the times those smaller menus are more dominated with fried foods. What kind of went into that decision? What was you guys' what was the decision maker for you guys in staying away from fried foods?
So one of the things was the location. We really liked the location, but the type of building that we're actually in didn't really allow for us to get a hood range.
Yeah.
That, like a commercial hood range, as well as the grease trap. Not to bore you with all that stuff. So we started looking at, if we could take, kind of a vision of something like, if you think like a Gene's Oyster Bar and a Simply Seafood.
Yeah.
And smash it together on Harrison Avenue, because both of those are tried, true, tested, and successful.
Mm-hmm.
And we just put our own little local sports kind of twist to it that is memorializing and paying homage to the coaches and athletes that have, grown up here and gone off and played. One part of the wall is that we don't have filled yet, but we have it pretty much decorated with memorabilia, which is a nostalgic talking point, for locals to somewhat reminisce about.
And we got some great guys on that wall.
Man, we do.
And we got this new thing coming, which is really neat. I think that you would really like it. At the front of our building, we have this vertically hung TV, and we're going to play all the current highlights and stuff. So of what's going on in the county currently. So the wall will be all this old memorabilia, and then all the updated highlights of what the young men and women are doing right now. So it's kind of dynamic, and I think you're going to love it. Now, I'll make you a deal. If you come down, I'll buy your supper if you come on our podcast.
You don't got to pay me. I've been waiting on you guys to invite me on the podcast for a little while now, especially when
okay, then you buy the food and we'll go.
Hey, there you go, man. Well, because I'm planning on coming down tomorrow for the grand opening.
During the Mosley, he does the Mosley thing. We were doing the chat back and forth, and he's like, "I'm waiting on the invite, bro. I'm waiting on the invite."
Yeah, no doubt. I think you guys are doing a great job. And again, anything that shines the light here on local athletes, local sports, or just local in general, man, I am all about it. And I love the word that you used there, dynamic, dealing with the vertical TV and then kind of the wall of fame, if you will, brings a little nostalgia with current events at the same time. And I think that's beautiful. And for the youngins who, or maybe for the youngins' parents who have the opportunity to step inside the establishment and see a highlight or a clip of their kid doing great things in the world of athletics, I think that's awesome. Any special beers on tap, perhaps?
Yes, of course. We have our own beer that we've private labeled, and we've teamed up with Props Craft Brewing Company. It's called the Tommy Oliver. In dedication to, Tommy Oliver Stadium and obviously his sacrifice and what he did in World War II.
What kind of messed us up, though, is downtown, our good friend Alan Branch has a beer called the Tommy Oliver also, and we're like, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Now we got 2 Tommy Oliver beers. His is probably a little bit better, but ours is really good, too.
Yeah.
You could call yours
once a year.
Hey, well, there you go. You could do the Tommy Oliver, Joe and Jeanette Chapman, Phil Don Heatley press box, the trifecta beer. Oh, man, that is great. So that's definitely going to be one of the things I'm trying tomorrow afternoon is the Tommy Oliver beer on tap over there at the local 115. Grand opening, reminder, everyone, is at 11 a.m. tomorrow. But they have the soft opening going on this evening. And I know a lot of people have been craving some good old oysters. And Justin and Kyle have been telling you guys about the oysters that they have and just the team that they have. Well, let's transition real quick. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes again to talk about the grand opening before we get off here. But how did you guys feel about Bay County High School football as a whole? What were some of the things that you liked about Bay County football last year?
Man, it was so great to see Coach Griff do what he did out there at Arnold.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in how Mosley performed. I had such high hopes. I really thought that this was the year, and it was unfortunate. Bozeman, I would say that Bozeman is in a good spot for growth. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm really, really, really happy with where I think Rutherford could be next year. The coaching changes that Coach Floyd made this year and what he's doing, I can't wait. I really can't wait. And I think this next year also, too, for Coach Brown with, let's see, 3A class. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think next year with them, they'll ruffle some feathers as well. So I think Bay County athletics in general, but talking about football, it's coming back, dude. It's coming back, bro. Like the 90s in the Panhandle, you didn't want to come up here and mess with Hardin or Scroggins or what was Mosley's coach? Larry Frank. You didn't want to come up here, but the problem we have now is we got 6 high schools.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of where the talent spread.
We're tired of being a baseball county.
Yeah, we're tired of being a baseball.
Hey, that's my sport, guys. That's my sport.
You know?
I said, that's my sport. One of the first episodes, it might have been one of y'all's very first episodes, was with Robert Fleming, and hearing y'all just go back and talk about
Robert.
Oh, man, what a great guy. I had the opportunity to get to know him a little bit better this year and call a couple of games with him and the absence of Kyle Wright. But that was such a fun episode to listen to, because hearing you guys' passion about the state of football here in Bay County and just how much it means to y'all being from this area for a long. I mean, I've been here for 18 years now. My grandparents have been here basically their whole lives and everything. So, but you guys played in the heyday, and just the love that y'all had for it just inspired me as well. And so keep up the great work with the podcast. And again, one more time before we get off here, Local 115, downtown Harrison Avenue, 115 is the address. Go check them out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Let me ask you, Justin, Kyle, what separates you guys from the rest of the competition when it comes to sports bars in the area or just Panama City in general?
You take that.
You know, I don't think a separation is good, because there's some great places out there. I don't want to say we're better or worse than any. We just are what we are. We represent, you know, our local culture, and that's it, you know. And I think that if you come down, you're going to get a great experience with some good food and catch a game and meet some friends. So come on down. We're not better or worse, but we're trying our best. So come on.
There you go.
Hey, that's a great answer. Justin Nyland, Kyle Vandergriff, Local 115. Grand opening tomorrow at 11 a.m., but you still have your opportunity to go get some fresh oysters down there tonight for the soft opening. Thank you guys so much for giving us some of your time, and I look forward to chatting it up with you guys tomorrow afternoon.
All right. Thanks, David.
Yes, sir. That is Justin Island, Kyle Vandergriff, Local 115. Go check them out. We're going to go ahead and take a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Talking with the owner of Golf Plus, Alan Watson, next.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Magic plays here.
Monday, the Orlando Magic will play in-state rivals, the Miami Heat. Join Jake Chapman and the Orlando broadcast team for live play-by-play. Coverage coming up at 6, tip-off at 6:30 right here.
Your new home for select Orlando Magic games. The NBA is on. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday afternoon. The rest of the day, sunshine and 50 with a light wind out of the northwest around 6 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies with a light wind and a low near 32. Tomorrow, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 54. For Sunday, mostly sunshine and a high of 59. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they will get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Olivia here, and right now is the right time to put yourself in a brand new Toyota, where you can get 3.99% APR on the stylish and affordable RAV4, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 2.99% on the bold Tacoma, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Or get 2.99% on the hard-working 2025 Tundra. We've got the perfect Toyota for you, right here at Panama City Toyota.
Offer ends February 3rd. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida coverage starts tomorrow for the Tigers and the Volunteers tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for a 7:30 tip-off. Our next guest is Alan Watson. We normally have him on Thursdays, but this Thursday he was down there in Orlando for what is the event called officially?
Right, so this is the PGA show, PGA merchandise show. They call it that. It's not actually owned by the PGA anymore. It was bought by a convention company several years ago, where they basically, license the name. I mean, it's still involved. The PGA members come down. They do seminars and different breakout kind of session things for them to earn their continuing education. And then there's also folks like me who are shop owners, or there's green grass guys that come down to look at buying, new golf carts for their facility, or new simulators for their facility, or obviously I was looking at the equipment and the accessories and the clothing and that sort of stuff. That's what we were there for, or I was there for. But yeah, it's a massive, it's Orange County Convention Center, so it's over 1 million square feet of golf.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So are you in heaven whenever you're there?
I mean, not really, because I've done it so many times now. I've kind of, it's work. It's work for me, man. And walking that floor, it's forever. And I just... It's a fun event, and every time I talk to people that are not in the industry but that play golf, they always go, "Oh, that would be so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah,
the first time
you get your oohing and ahhing out of the way, but after a while, your feet just hurt, and I've got an appointment down here with this clothing company, and then after I'm done with that, I've got an appointment with a manufacturer down to the other end of the floor, and then I've got to come, and so there's just all this walking that goes on.
What about a Segway?
Yeah, some of the security guards actually have Segways, and they're zooming around and stuff. But yeah, to be too many people for that. And you're trying to get somewhere, and you turn down an aisle, and there's too many people clogged up. You have to go back. I mean, it's wild, but it is golf overload for a golfer. I mean, from most of the big manufacturers are there. TaylorMade, over the last several years, has decided to skip it because it costs them so much to build these big giant booths and everything. But everybody else big was there. A few of the smaller, like some of the companies that we do business with, like Fujikura wasn't there. Lab Putters weren't there. But most of the companies you think of for golf, Bushnell, Titleist, Callaway, Ping, Strixon, all those companies were there. Scotty Cameron, of course, all that kind of stuff.
So is Scotty Cameron its own brand?
Scotty Cameron falls under the Titleist umbrella.
Okay.
So
Titleist.
He is, it's Scotty Cameron by Titleist.
Gotcha.
It really probably should be Titleist by Scotty Cameron, but whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And the last 2 years, they've added a lot in the space of influencers. So now what you're seeing PGA Tour pros there doing demos, doing interviews, just hanging out at the booth, signing autographs so that people can kind of, oh, look, neat. I saw Boo Weekley as soon as I got there, Tuesday morning. I saw Boo Weekley over at Bridgestone. And then now you're seeing all these YouTubers there.
Yeah.
Rick Shields.
Was he there?
Yeah, I think he was. I didn't see him, but somebody said he was. I know a lot of the... and then a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
So J.R. Smith was there.
Oh, really?
I was standing this close to Ja Rule. I walked
What is Ja Rule doing in the world of golf?
So Ja Rule loves golf, and he was at TGL on Monday night or Tuesday night. I guess it was Tuesday night. So he was at TGL Tuesday night, and that's not very far. I told you last week that I thought they were filming in California. They're not. They're filming in West Palm Beach.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're filming in Palm Beach Gardens or wherever. So that's where they are. So they're in Florida. So all these guys were there anyway. So Ja Rule and a lot of these celebrities, there's a company called Malbon that's based out of Los Angeles golf, and so it's really kind of retro style, and they do a lot of collabs with Nike and Adidas and companies like that. And so anyway, so they have the in with these influencers and especially with these celebrities. So I was just hanging out at Black Clover. I was going over to Sun Mountain. Malbon was next to it. I didn't even realize where I was, and I was texting my wife, and I looked up, and I'm standing right next to Ja Rule, and he's got all this bling, and everything, and I'm like, I really want to get a picture, even though I don't really know a lot of his music.
You should have just handed them 2 quarters.
Well, he was on the phone. I don't want to mess with him. But got to meet Martin Borgmeyer, who's one of the world long drive guys, huge guy, and he's super famous. I mean, people were just flocking up to talk to him. Got to meet a guy named the DOD King is his nickname. His real name's Carter. He actually was here in Panama City Beach for like a month shooting content for his YouTube channel last year. So, and his content creator guy had come in the shop and met all my guys, and I got to meet him. And I didn't get to meet Carter that time. So it was nice to meet him at the show finally. Sam Judah hooked all that stuff up for us. But it's just really neat to, I was there to buy stuff. I was there to get in on the companies and everything. But it's also fun to see professional basketball players, rappers, singers, PGA pros. I had dinner last night with a bunch of guys, and sitting right next to me was John McGinnis, who's an ex-PGA Tour player. He does Sirius Satellite Radio. He's going to be at TGL next week doing commentating stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, this is not, but it was fun.
Hey, there you go. Boston Tim texting in. He says, it always seems like the advancements in golf come slowly. Was there anything at the show that seemed like it could change the game drastically with its new technology in the near future?
I didn't see anything that was world-beating, game-changing, never seen it before. How in the world did nobody think of this before now? I didn't see that, to answer Boston Tim's question. What I did see was definitely evolution in terms of companies that maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they were the only one doing something. Now you're seeing 2 or 3 other companies come along and do that too. So it kind of validates that person, you can be an innovator, but you could also be an imitator and still make money. And we see that in the world of fast food. We see it in sodas. We're going to do a diet soda. Well, we're going to do one too, or whatever.
Let's do a zero soda.
Why is Taco Bell selling chicken fingers? I have no idea.
That's
because somebody else can sell them, right? So they're like, we got to get in on this. So I saw things like Graphite Design, for instance, which is one of the shaft brands that we carry. They have a new shaft called Anti-Gravity, and I'm talking to my rep, and I'm like, anti-gravity? Like that, I don't get it. And he said, well, this is our answer to what's called AutoFlex, which is a very, very expensive graphite shaft, 2.5 times more expensive than most everybody else's graphite. But now this version that Graphite Design's doing is in the normal realm price-wise. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like they had all the business for a long time over here. Now other people are coming along and getting in on that. Grip companies that are innovating grips, because grips kind of haven't changed a lot over the years. We're starting to see some innovation there.
Lizard Skins being
Lizard
one of
Skins
those.
is one of those. I talked to those guys. They were great, and we already brought that stuff in. And so having that in and getting to talk to them and the evolution of them coming from cycling and baseball and softball and hockey to now golf. So you're seeing that. Just stuff like that. But like Nippon has a new steel shaft called Tour 110 that I think is going to be sort of revolutionary in terms of tour shaft for better players, but lighter weight, because that's kind of where we're seeing things move to. It's hard. The biggest innovations that have happened this year, I think we actually talked about that last week when I brought the Cobra head in with the Future Fit 33 system. That to me is probably the most revolutionary thing that's happened in probably 10 years in golf. And of course they were at the show too, but I'd already seen it at that point. Right. So I didn't go buy any more of that.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got the owner of Golf Plus in the building with us. I almost said on the line because that's kind of what we're used to. Alan Watson, though. And again, you guys can call in or text in with questions, 850-215-6290. What's the difference in, you have Dothan Golf Plus, you have Panama City Beach Golf Plus. Do you look for different products or do the same products go to the same stores? Like, how does it work demographically?
No, so great question. And so, for instance, we're bringing in some new clothing lines that will go to Dothan first, and then if we can figure out how to make room for them in Panama City, we'll do the same. So we've got,
which is jam-packed first and foremost. Y'all go check out the store, because I promise you can get lost. Like, you will spend 30 minutes just trying to think, okay, what do I want to get? And then it'll take you another couple minutes after that. It's a beautiful store.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But we're trying to figure out how to do more clothing, and so we're bringing in brands that young folks like yourself are asking about. We've got Bad Birdie coming in. We've got Bogey Bros coming in. We've got Under Armour coming in. We're bringing in some brands. Actually, I've got another brand that I really want to put at the beach, and it's called Anchor and Crown. And I mean, it's so, when you see the line, you're just like, that looks like beachwear.
Yeah.
Right? So it's golf, but it has that more beachy theme and feel, and the colors, and they're lighter, and you're like, oh, okay. So I'm excited about that line too, but a lot of this is going to go to Dothan first, and then if we can figure out how to get a bigger space or how to do something, rearrange in the store, I don't know how we could, but we may have to put like a shop up on the roof or something. I don't know.
Rooftop shopping with Alan Watson.
That's right. But if we can figure that out, then we'll be bringing. But yes, to answer your question, yes, we do bring in different products. Most of it's the same, 90-something% of it's the same. But what happens is the customer tells us what they want.
Yeah.
So when we brought lizard skins in, for instance, within like a week, guys in Dothan were going, oh, this grip's awesome, but I want it in this color, in this size. Because we only brought in 6 or 8 styles to try. So, and they make 30 or 40, 50 styles. They had even introduced new styles. When I saw them at the show, they had undersized grips for juniors. They had undersized for ladies. So they had 2 new sizes they'd already added that they didn't have when I bought it a few weeks ago. So, but yeah, so stuff like that happens where we go, okay, well, let's bring it into Dothan, and then then at least we know they have it,
right.
And then if somebody wants it, whatever like that. As far as like the big brands, it doesn't really change much. But one thing also that we do differently is Panama City Beach Store has a little bit more high-end shoes, for instance, because there are people that are willing to spend a little more money on average down here. So I can put a 180 shoe, a 220, a 240 shoe in it, and I can actually sell it. At the Dothan store, it's more in that 100 to 130, 100 and maybe 60, 70 max range. So we'll put more Skechers in Dothan. We'll put more Nike in Dothan. Here we'll do more premium, like G4 and stuff like that. So, but you know, even that can sometimes kind of flip-flop around. You just never know. You just have to see what takes off and then chase that.
There you go. Chase it down the road. Yeah. And one thing that you guys do boast is a great collection of hats over there. As a hat connoisseur myself, y'all have great hats.
Dude, when you see the new hats from Bad Birdie and Bogey Bros and Under Armour and, I mean, all these new
hats are so clean.
The Mizuno hats are so clean. And we're working with Branded Bills, which is the company that is really super hot right now. Branded Bills, everybody's doing their hat now with their logo on it. You're seeing that hat is super comfortable, super high end, but it just looks amazing and it fits great. And so we're working with Branded Bills to do our Golf Plus logoed hats, like what you're wearing there, but with an even newer style, right, and everything. So that's why I'm excited to be working with them going forward. And yeah, hats, man, I bought 200 hats just from Black Clover. and then if you add the several hundred hats I bought from all the other companies, and that's just first shipment, right?
Yeah.
That's just first shipment. Obviously, we'll restock. We'll add more collegiate stuff as we get into the summer towards fall, things like that. I mean, we always kind of just see what's happening. But yeah, headwear, I try to stock as much as I can because, I mean, yeah, guys like you, if you see a hat you like, you're going to buy it.
Yeah, and I had a hard time the last time I was in the store not being like, okay, well, I'm going to drop like $120 and my bills are not going to be, my creditors are not going to be happy if I do that.
Randy, we need a hat raise over here.
Yeah, there we go. Hat raise. I love that.
Hat raise.
Oh, man. You were bringing up influencers being over there, and I asked you about Rick Shields. Well, now Rick Shields is an ambassador for the Live Tour. What do you think about that? Do you think that helps, kind of move them in the right direction, or is it just one of those things kind of for show?
Well, it definitely will help. I mean, it puts the two of the biggest, if not the 2 biggest, Grant Horvat's right there too, but you've got Bryson DeChambeau and Rick Shields who have some of the most, subscribed to channels, right, on YouTube. And since that's really where golf is being consumed, and both those guys will now be aligned with the Live Tour, I think it definitely helps them. Plus, they've got their Fox deal, so they're going to be on TV more. I don't know that the Fox deal, I mean, obviously it opens it up to some people, but let's face it, not everybody has traditional television anymore.
Right.
A lot of people are streaming only now in their homes. And so I think it's interesting. I think it adds to that. I think it's definitely something that they needed, and it's something you're seeing on the PGA Tour. You're seeing Good go out and sign 4 PGA Tour players to their roster of players. You're seeing other equipment companies get deals worked out with influencers and all that. So to have a tour deal, that's kind of interesting. But, I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, why not? We have, when you do live tournaments, a lot of times they'll cut to like an ex-caddy or an ex-player.
Right.
And it's like, give us some more context of what's going on, right? Because those guys really have the inside the rope the dope information, right? It's like when Troy Aikman calls a football game, he knows what he's talking about because he's an ex-player, right? So same thing. Now we've got this guy who's well respected in the world of YouTube as a teacher, as a player, as an equipment sort of reviewer.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I was not getting to it though, so thank you for saving me. And so now you align him, and now the Live Tour can use that for interviews. They can have him do player interviews, or they can have him just do on-course commentating, or they can just have him create content around the tour events, right? He goes to each event a couple of days ahead of time, shoots stuff, maybe he goes out to the green and talks about how to read greens or whatever, hit different shots. I think it's perfect. Yeah, I mean, one of the best things that ever happened to the PGA Tours on television broadcast was in the last few years when Bones Mackay, who used to caddy for Mickelson for years, got in the broadcast and started doing stuff because his inside knowledge was so valuable, and it was so much more fun to listen to than just the guys going, all right, let's cut to 13 and see his approach shot. That is boring. Nobody cares. And you can do that without even a comment. Just the editor can do that.
And with a caddy's perspective is different than a former golfer's perspective, because a golfer's perspective is just going to be, hole to hole, what the swing looked like there. And for caddies, I mean, they do a myriad of different things.
I mean, they can tell you why he's doing what he's doing. Hey, look, the grass looks really thick there, and I can see that the ball's sitting behind a tuft of grass, and it's also wet. So you're going to see him take more loft, and he's going to lean the club forward. He's going to do this, and I just think there's some value to that as a golfer, because then I chuck those nuggets away, and then when I go to the golf course, it's like, oh yeah, I remember what that guy said.
Visualize the audio.
I don't really want Jim Nantz to tell me how to play golf, but I'll listen to Bones Mackay, right? And so I think that, and so Rick Shields, in the same way, a lot of people will listen to Rick Shields. Yeah. So I think it just adds to it. Now, it's still going to be another year, maybe even two, before we really see the full viability of Live. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, it's not there yet. But it's getting there, and they're adding things, and now they've got these two huge YouTubers in Rick Shields and Bryson DeChambeau there. So let's see what happens. I think it'll be cool.
On to the other tour, PGA Tour. I've got two more questions for you. We got till about 4:45, and then we're going to have Rory Kuhn on with us. He is the head coach for the Gulf Coast State College women's basketball team. Is Justin Thomas right? Justin Thomas kind of came out and said tour players, PGA Tour players, need to do more interviews, pre-hole or pre-round interviews, on-course interviews during the round. And there was an article I was reading on Yahoo.com where it's like you would think he would be the last person to talk about that or to be a spokesperson for that to an extent, because last year, I believe it was at Augusta, missing the cut after one of his interviews. Is Justin Thomas right, though? Is that what the PGA Tour needs? Do they need to liven things up as the Live Tour has kind of made their way in that realm?
Absolutely. I mean, there's two things that the tour suffers with. It's brand identity, meaning that when you turn on the TV, the top 10 guys a lot of times are not brand names. Yeah. It's not a Jordan Spieth. It's not a Justin Thomas. It's like a Justin Suh and a guy that you can't pronounce his name. And you're like, well, I don't know that unless they show one of the guys I know in the next 10 minutes of this broadcast, I'm leaving.
Yeah, and you don't even know if you're watching. Are you watching Korn Ferry? Or are you watching DP? You don't know outside of seeing the logo.
You're exactly right. So they need more interviews and they need more player interaction. Now, it's hard to do it in the round. And then this brings me to my next point. John McGinnis at dinner last night, ex-PGA Tour player, like I said, commentator now, very outspoken guy on Sirius XM Radio for PGA Tour Channel. He has said it over and over again that slow play is the biggest problem with the tour. Yeah. And so obviously you can't stop to do an interview. It's going to cause slow play unless there's a ruling taking place and it's causing it to back up or something like that. But the PGA Tour has a problem, and it's slow play is the biggest one. The second one is brand identity, because now that you sent John Rahm and Bubba Watson and Cam Smith away and Bryson and Brooks Koepka, we can keep going with this. Dustin Johnson, a lot of green jackets left. Yeah. And so you just have a brand identity problem as well.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. Obviously, you know a much more about this sport than I do, but I agree wholeheartedly. Product that we're loving. Favorite question to ask you. Product that we're loving at Golf Plus.
I think it's not here yet, but it'll be here real soon, and it's the new Bushnell Tour Hybrid laser rangefinder with built-in GPS. It's going to come in at a pretty high price point, not the highest price point out in the market, but it's going to be pretty high. It's a $499 product, so it's not cheap. But this is a laser rangefinder that has a It has the magnet, of course. It has a plug-in rechargeable C port like what you have on an iPad or iPhone. So now we're not having to worry about changing batteries and all that. And it's a great size, very comfortable. And when you look through the reticle and when you press your button, it uses GPS technology, so you get the direct number to whatever you're shooting, whether it's a tree. But if you're shooting a flag, it recognizes that. And then on the top of your screen, you're going to get front, middle, back numbers just like you would on a GPS device. So you're going to get enhanced GPS with all the laser rangefinder features, plus a hardened case that, and all that. So I think this is going to be a huge home run. I've ordered a ton of them for both my stores, and I think this is, normally people don't buy new electronics until their old electronics break.
Yeah.
This is going to have people going, hey, you know what, instead of having to wear a watch or have a handheld and my laser rangefinder, I'll trade in my rangefinder or sell it to a buddy or give it to my son, and I'm going to upgrade to this. This is going to be the kind of thing that's going to cause people to want to upgrade. So that's what's coming, Tour Hybrid from Bushnell, and I'm super excited about it. It was one of the products, going back to Boston Tim's question, that I thought was a real innovation, because a lot of people are trying to do all this stuff with GPS and laser, and it's hard to do, frankly, to combine it into one thing.
Yeah.
And they found a really great way to do it.
And you know that they're known for their rangefinders in the world of hunting, so why not use them for both, man? You got a season for hunting, you got a season for golfing, and around here in this area, outside of snow days, you can golf year-round. Alan Watson, owner of Golf Plus. Alan, thank you so much for dropping by. Great to see you.
Thanks. Great to see you.
All right, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, tuned into ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming up next, we've got the head coach for the women's basketball team of Gulf Coast State College, the Lady Commodores, Rory Kuhn. We'll be right back.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The number 1 ranked Auburn Tigers are on a tear. They'll put their 17-1 record on the line tomorrow versus 17-2 Tennessee, as the number 6 ranked Volunteers will play inside the jungle. Coverage starts tomorrow night at 7. Tip off at 7:30 on your home for the most college basketball and the Auburn Tigers.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday afternoon. The rest of the day, sunshine and 50 with a light wind out of the northwest around 6 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies with a light wind and a low near 32. Tomorrow, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 54. For Sunday, mostly sunshine and a high of 59. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Hometown Sports Talk from hometown hosts.
People are loving it.
We're live and local. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Are you kidding me?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes along with the Bone Crusher, and we're your spot for select Orlando Magic games, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is going to be February 8th at the Bay Haven Charter Academy. Doors are going to open at 5:30. Bell time 6:30. Tickets are $20 for the front row, $12 for adults, $8 for ages 6 through 17. 5 and under get in free, and all proceeds go to benefit Ryan Holland and his medical expenses. We'll have more from Jack Patterson, Tony Super, and the Nelsonizer coming up at 5:20. But now we go over to the Gulf Coast State College women's head basketball coach, Rory Kuhn. Coach Kuhn, it's been a while since we've had you on. How's everything been treating you?
Oh, it's great to be back with you guys. We love the Afternoon Underdogs, so it's good to be here.
Hey, it's great to have you on. Obviously, the weather's been a little crazy, but nothing that you're not used to, being up there from the New York area. 15-2, the Lady Doors are to this point. How's the season been going for you guys?
Well, like you said, a little bit of snow in Florida. We never thought we'd see that, and we're sitting at 15-2 and number 9 in the country. So overall, pretty good year so far.
Hey, there you go. We're getting into conference play, 1-1 to this point. What do you expect out of the girls? What's kind of the difference in going through the non-conference schedule and then getting into that round robin of conference play?
Well, the non-conference, no matter what, is always the easiest, as you know, because when we get to this conference, as you know, it's the best one in the country. And I think you got Northwest Florida sitting at number 1 in the country. Chipola, I think, is 6th, and we're at 9, and Pensacola is 20. They got 4 teams in the top 20, which makes it the hardest conference in the country. So, yeah, it's always tough. There's no easy nights, and you just always got to be ready. So it's going to be a tough year, especially for us. We only have 2 returning players. We got a whole new team. So, but overall, sitting at 9 in the country, we're doing all right.
Yeah, some would say, especially after the last couple of days, tough sledding ahead. Only 4 sophomores on the team, and you just alluded to only 2 players. I mean, all 4 of your players last year that moved on to the next level are playing D1 basketball. You got Central Florida, Maryland, Florida State, and there's one other player. Mamadou is over there at Maryland. DeSantos, I believe, is at Florida State. Can't remember. Ariel Stevens, I can't remember where she's at.
Yeah,
but
she's at Marquette.
Marquette, yeah. All D1 players. I mean, great year last year from the Lady Doors, but only 4 sophomores on the team this year. Who stepped up and been a leader for you this year with just 2 returning players from 2024?
Yeah, so the best impact player who's come in is a sophomore. She didn't play for me her freshman year, but she came in from Texas. Her name's Janavia Gage, and I think as of right now, she's the 2nd leading rebounder in the country. She's averaging about 13 rebounds a game. So she's been a huge impact, and, she's getting looks from schools like Alabama and Louisville, and, you name it, SEC, Big 12, Big 10. So she's been really super impactful on the boards and been really good. So that's been our biggest contributor so far.
Yeah, 227 rebounds for Janavia, and 80-something of those are offensive rebounds as well. And then also in the middle with her, the center, Angela Minja, 31 blocks. How important have they been for the success that y'all have had to this point, especially there in the middle, down low for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she comes in off the bench for me. She's 6'5", all the way from Tanzania, and she puts her arms up there. She clogs up the paint, blocks shots, rebounds, so it's good to have options down low. That's the one area where we are really loaded down there in the post. We got 4 really good post players. So, yeah, it's nice to have that luxury this year for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel this team is compared to last year's team? I know that that's a hard thing to kind of put into words, but do you think that this team could hang with last year's team, or do you feel like last year's team was a little bit better? I know that it's a little bit more difficult in the state college realm, 2-year university realm, 2-year athlete realm, but how do you think this team stacks up against last year's team?
Oh, man, that's a tough question to answer, but, last year's team, I say this over and over, we were 22-1 before Ozzy Mamadou blew her knee out. We were number 1 in the country. I don't think there's a doubt in many people's minds when we were out there at the national tournament. We finished 5th without her. With her, we would have won the whole thing. So I would put last year's team up against anybody's, to be honest with you. So those are big shoes to fill. I try not to compare, this year's team to last year's team just because I know that. But, new team, new challenge, and they've done pretty darn good being 9. But that last year team certainly was special.
Yeah, no, great stuff there. What are some areas that you feel, as we're talking with head coach Rory Kuhn of the Lady Doors of Gulf Coast State College, what are some areas that you feel like this year's team could improve in?
Definitely, our guard play. We're solid enough. I'd like a little bit more out of, our returners. The one returner at the guard spot, Alicia Murray, and some of the other new kids to get a little more comfortable and kind of just settle in and gel in. It's just guards taking care of the ball. 'Cause we've got the bigs, like I said, and we're pretty darn good on the glass. But if we can just get a little more guard play, I think that'll go a long way for us.
I don't know if you heard about, but Vanderbilt's quarterback, Diego Pavia, had a settlement, a case against the NCAA where he got his JUCO years where he was still, they wouldn't count against his eligibility. Yep. What does that do for Gulf Coast State College and other, programs like this that are kind of, to an extent, a stepping stone? What does that do for programs like Gulf Coast State College?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Nobody really knows. I mean, when that first happened, I had a bunch of Division I coaches calling me, texting me, saying, hey, this is good for JUCO, right? This is going to help. And, nobody kind of knew the ruling. So as of right now, what they did was with the ruling, anybody that would graduate this year, so like former players of mine, take Abby Cracknell, for example, who's at Marquette, she automatically gets another year next year because she would be a senior this year graduating. So they did it with just those seniors that would be, graduating this year, guaranteed extra year. But they're still deciding and voting on for next year, So like somebody like Janavia Gage, who leads their country in rebounding, could go to Louisville or could go to Alabama and still only be, a sophomore when she shows up, or could get those 2 years replaced and be a freshman. You just don't know. So we're just kind of waiting on the NCAA to see how they're going to rule. But, I mean, it definitely helps the kids overall if they do go that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you talk with your former players a lot during the season, or is that more of an off-season thing? How is the relationship after they leave from here to go to their next destination?
Yeah, well, the reason I just brought up Abby Cracknell was she actually just called me yesterday. They had played Providence, and she knows I used to coach in the Big East, so she called me just to fill me in. And I asked her about having her year back and what she's going to do and all that stuff. So, yeah, I heard from Ozzy Mamadou a little while ago as well. You're still in touch with all your former players. They still reach out, so, I guess that's how you know you're doing a good job.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. And you continue to do great things. And again, all four of your players that moved on last year from Gulf Coast State College are playing Division I basketball. You've got Pensacola State this Sunday, and I believe that game was rescheduled from Friday to Thursday and now to Sunday. Is the first matchup that y'all will have against Pensacola State this year. How do y'all match up with the Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, typically for them, it's funny actually what you said. First, the game was supposed to be Northwest Florida, and then that got canceled because of the snow. And then it was Pensacola, and that was off. So then we turned to going, hey, we're going to play back to Chipola. So now the Pensacola game's back on. So you got to get ready. We prepared for about 3 teams over the last couple of days with this snowstorm. But Pensacola's always tough, always scrappy. They rebound really well. They're going to trap you. They're going to pressure you. So we got to be able to handle their pressure and try to beat them on the glass, and if we could do that, it should be a pretty good game for us. But they're always tough, always scrappy. Like I said, I think they're 20th in the country right now. So, still a top 20 team, and anything can happen.
Yeah, there you go. And then on Wednesday, and again, that game is right here at our local gym. It's right here at Gulf Coast State College. So y'all go out and support the Lady Commodores on a Sunday afternoon because it's rare that they're playing on Sunday. And so if you don't have anything to do after church, just stop on by. And then what's the key, Coach, for getting revenge versus the high-powered Chipola squad on Wednesday, also right here in our own backyard?
Well, I think number one is we've got to settle down. I mean, when we went over to that game, and I always said this, I always think Chipola's the toughest place to play for a conference opener of 10 new kids that haven't played in the conference. You go on the road, you got some jitters, and they're a really, really good team. So once, we had some jitters and shots weren't falling and it just snowballed and they were hitting everything, the lead got pretty big real quick for them and it was just tough to come back. So I just think just settling down and, hey, we've had some really good practices and then just get out there and, you got to play the game. You got 40 minutes.
Hey, there you go, Coach. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate it. And y'all get out and support the Lady Commodores this Sunday and also Wednesday. Sunday versus Pensacola, and then Wednesday against Chipola. Coach, good luck for the rest of the season. Of course, we'll be catching up with you throughout the rest of the season. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. We love the Afternoon Underdogs. Guys, we'll see you soon, okay? Take care.
All right. Thank you. That's Coach Rory Kuhn. He's the head coach of the Lady Commodores, Gulf Coast State College, in that high-powered Panhandle Conference. Chipola, Tallahassee, Northwest Florida, Pensacola, and, of course, your Lady Commodores. And, hey, great stuff going on right now, but Really, Wednesday is going to be a huge game. And Sunday, if you ain't got nothing going on, go support them, man. They put on a show over there at the gym at Gulf Coast State College. Well, that is going to do it here for us for hour number 1. Coming up next, we're going to chat with Sam Kavaris. Man, what a legend he is. And we're going to find out how he feels about Liam Cohen being the next coach of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Keep it locked in to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Jesselyn, I'm looking at your snowman picture right now. Are those twins?
They are.
Adorable. Well, congratulations. You just won the best snowman competition.
Hey, thank you.
Have you been enjoying the snow?
I have been. We've been out just about as much as we can tolerate.
Well, you guys scored a gift card to Major Smokehouse and That Boot Store.
All right.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday afternoon. The rest of the day, sunshine and 50 with a light wind out of the northwest around 6 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies with a light wind and a low near 32. Tomorrow, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 54. For Sunday, mostly sunshine and a high of 59. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Your home for Super Bowl 59. WGSX Lynn Haven, WVL2 Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
The size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Now, the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs with David Hayes and the Bone Crusher and Holland Hearts. ESPN Northwest Florida present the Magic Express. We've got 2 tickets for you to watch the Orlando Magic taking on the Sacramento Kings on Saturday, March 29th from a luxury suite. Your food during the game is going to be free, and your hotel after the game included in the ultimate road trip. We're taking a busload of sports fanatics to ride the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. And to enter, all you got to do is open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and crush the Enter Contest button. Don't have the ESPN Northwest Florida app? Well, then you need to go to your Google Play Store, your Apple Store, type in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, crush the Enter Contest button once you get it after you register. Now, if you have any questions on did you get into the contest or not, if you hit the Enter Contest button, you close the app, and then it comes up and you're still seeing the Enter Contest button, shoot us a text message over here at 850-215-6290. We'll try to do our best. But if you don't see the Enter Contest button anymore, that means that you are in the contest. That is brought to you by our great friends at PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Holland Hearts, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home to Suites. Cannot wait for that. That's going to be a big one. And you're also going to be riding along with James Fife and his wife.
No way.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's an Afternoon Underdog special. He would be with us yesterday, but he was sick. And so I was like, well, if you can't make it yesterday or Thursday, then try to come in on Friday. And he was still running a fever of 101 today. So I think that we got enough time, though, to get him ready by March 29th. So don't worry about him being contagious by that point in time. We've got Sam Kavaris on the line. He's been on the show with us a few times before. You can get Sam's great content at samsportsline.com. Also, you can go check out his Twitter, Sam Kovaris. He's also a columnist, a reporter, and has just done a lot of great things over there in the Jacksonville area. Sam, thanks so much for some of your time. How are you doing this afternoon?
I want to get on the Magic contest. Can you just go enter me, please?
Yeah, I'll
meet you there.
Yeah, there you go. I'll make you a whole new profile, and we'll see if you can be a entrant into the contest and get you over there for some Orlando Magic basketball, taking on the Kings. What have you thought about the Magic so far to this point, Sam?
It's funny, when they first started as a franchise, did you know that 20% of their season ticket holders were from Jacksonville?
No, I did not know that. Fun fact.
Literally, it was 2 hours door to door. Here's another fun fact. Orlando is actually west of Jacksonville. It's only about a mile, but it's actually west of Jacksonville. So, because of the way the state sits, so you win a lot of money in a bar bet if you like that. By the way, what's the closest northeastern city north of Jacksonville? The answer is Cleveland. Okay, so. That's just the way people see the U.S. Nonetheless, I enjoy following the Magic much this year. Just kind of followed all the follies down there in Miami. It's what's happening down there with Butler and all the stuff that's going on. Are they going to get Bradley Beal? Is he coming back to the state of Florida after the 1 year at the University of Florida?
Yeah.
With Billy Donovan, all that's been kind of fun to follow.
Right. And not only that, you've got two superstars. You had the whole debacle with Tyreek Hill at the end of the year, speaking of, the Miami Dolphins, and then now Jimmy Butler. Is it just hard to keep players satisfied down there in the Sunshine City, if you will, of Miami, Florida?
I think there's plenty to do, and I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Down there occasionally. People wondered why the Cubs didn't win the World Series for 100 years. Because of what guys did at night, because they had afternoon games. Had nothing to do with the talent on the team. It had to do with the time of day that they had off. So, you just have to kind of play into those things. And, you look at NFL players, for instance, as much as fun as it is to be the national game, they hate waiting around all day to play.
Yeah.
I mean, they prefer to play at 1 and then 4, and then the night game, it's like, that's why even when, you take the Jaguars, for instance, when they play a night game, they get those guys there at noon because they're trying not to, they can lay around and sleep and do whatever under the watchful eye of the coaches instead of tooling around all day doing who knows what before they get to the stadium.
Well, speaking of, the Jaguars have a new coach and Liam Cohen. And I just kind of, first off, Shad Khan made the decision to get rid of Doug Peterson and stick with Trent Baalke. And then just a couple of days later, he ends up moving on from Trent Baalke. Oh, what do you know about the situation? What can you tell us or just give us your perspective on how all of that played out?
Well, you mentioned my website, samsportsline.com, and I did write about this as it was happening a little bit because, Shad, who is an excellent businessman, obviously, he's like the 45th richest guy in the world, and he's a real nice guy. But when I was on the Zoom call when he fired Doug, and he was talking to, and Baalke was on the left side of the screen, Shad was on the right side of the screen, and they kind of tried to give the impression that they were in the same place, but they weren't. Baalke was here. Shad was somewhere else. And we asked, some questions, and somebody asked a question, why didn't you clean house? And Shad looked in the camera and said, well, I don't understand what you mean by cleaning house. We've got 85 people in the personnel department. What do you want me to do, fire all 85 people and think I'm going to hire 85 better? And then he said, our measurables are good, our metrics are good, our facilities are unparalleled. Health and wellness of the players are good. I'm listening to him talking. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, these are all the things that a top businessman would say about his business. We're in the top 10 all along. Not a single one of them has anything to do with winning a football game.
Yeah.
So, if you're looking at it from one lens, you certainly can see that the Jaguars are a good organization. They happen to be the losingest franchise in professional sports in the last 12 years. Not just the NFL, in all of professional sports. That's hard to do when you look at the losing streak the Pistons had last year, right? Mm-hmm. So Shad has been a good steward of the team locally, but in terms of concentrating on what it takes to win, he is, he was the owner when they got rid of Calais Campbell, when he was the reigning Walter Payton Man of the Year. You don't do that without asking the owner, and he said okay. So he has put a lot of confidence in his football people. And the football people here, ever since Wayne Weaver fired Tom Coughlin in 2001, have always been chasing after the next shiny thing. They've never built a culture. Coughlin was building a culture here, and, the cupboard was bare there in 2001, and he had, there can be some revisionist history, but he had worn out his welcome. Nobody was going to buy a ticket to a Tom Coughlin coach team at the time. And, he was building at the time a culture, though, in order to beat the Steelers, because if you remember, when the Jaguars entered the league, they were in the AFC Central, and that's who they had to play twice a year, and so that's who he mimicked, and that's what the Jaguars were like. They were a tough, hard-nosed football team. Ever since then, there's a big difference between talented and good in the NFL, and the Jaguars this past year were the most talented bad team I've ever seen, and it's because they have no culture. They have nobody holding each other accountable. And, when you build a football team, and you talk to any successful coaches, you take the guys at the top of the roster who are the talented guys. They're the guys you want the ball in their hand 10 out of 10 times when the game's on the line. Then you got guys in the middle who are pushing the starters, who are spot starters, who are developing players. And then you got guys at the bottom of the roster who are unbelievably talented because they made it that way. I mean, they're tremendous athletes. But they made the team because they had something else. They wanted to mix it up. They wanted to play football. When that hole opened at the end of the third quarter and that running back came through, they stood in that hole and said to themselves, all right, I know this is going to hurt, but I'm going to make it hurt worse for him. And that is what a team is about. That's not just talented football players who happen to be wearing the same uniform. And when you get a team like that, you get a culture that guys like going to the weight room together. They like playing together. The Jaguars have 0 guys like that on their team. And that's what they need. They need somebody to build a culture. Maybe Cohen can be the guy. I personally think that Tony Baselli needs to be in the organization, perhaps as an executive vice president, because that's the kind of player he was. He was a tone setter. He and Fred Taylor were the 2 guys who did that. And, people say, well, why wasn't it the quarterback? Well, that's not the kind of guy Mark Brunell was.
Yeah.
Because he had Baselli, he had Fred Taylor. In recent years, they had Calais Campbell. They had Paul Buzz-Lusney. They don't have any of those kind of guys.
Yeah, no, and I'm looking at your latest article, or one of your latest articles on samsportsline.com about Fred Taylor, titled Nobody Saw Him Play. I was actually listening to the Nick Saban episode of the Pivot podcast, and one of my favorite voices on there doesn't speak a whole lot, but when he does say something, you can feel the weight behind it. Fred Taylor. I mean, do you think Fred Taylor maybe wants to get into coaching, and maybe you bring back some of the guys from the opening years of the Jaguars franchise and get them involved? I mean, there was success for that Jaguars team, and if you got guys who know how to be successful, like you're mentioning with Hall of Famer Tony Baselli, do you think that maybe Liam Cohen, who's new to this whole game as a head coach, do you think he should reach out to some of the former alumni, if you will, of the original Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, you look at teams that have done something similar to that. I mean, look, when the Lions brought Chris Spielman back and eventually hired Dan Campbell. I mean, when the 49ers took John Lynch over there. Those guys are obviously smart guys. They also set the culture and set the tone. The Jaguars have never had anybody as a former player in their organization as a former Jaguar. And, you look at the guys who have played for this football team who still live in town, and that's one of the things we joke about. I mean, between the Navy and the ex-Jaguars, the whole town is full of people who used to either serve or used to play here. And because it's, you find out, you got to let Jacksonville reveal itself to you. If you live here, that's a whole other conversation. But you can't shoehorn your way in. But if you hang around long enough, you realize, wow, pretty good lifestyle here. So there's a lot of guys who live here who just have never been engaged with the organization, and the organization has never reached out to them. And it's kind of a shame because there certainly are some guys who would bring a culture and have some merit, as you said. I mean, and one guy would be Mark Brunell. Apparently Brunell's going to go to the Jets as the offensive coordinator with Aaron Glenn.
Wow.
But let me tell you, if Tony Baselli came to work for the Jaguars, and Baselli is Brunell's best friend, by the way, I'm pretty sure he could get him away, and Liam Cohen could bring Brunell in here as the offensive coordinator. I mean, look what he did as the quarterbacks coach in Detroit in the last 4 years.
Right.
It's pretty impressive to be able to do that with Jared Goff.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, and I'm a Tennessee Titans fan at heart, so it's not like I want to see a great deal of success from the Jacksonville Jaguars, but at the same time, you still root for success, period. At least for myself, that's something I like seeing success stories. A lot better to see the positive rather than the negative. Do you think that Liam Cohen was the right choice, or did the Jaguars jump the gun here? Especially kind of giving him control over who the next general manager is going to be.
That's what you have to do. I mean, of the three things that Shad had an opportunity to do at the end of the season, he chose the last one, I thought, when he got rid of Doug and he kept Trent. I would have done exactly the opposite.
Right.
I'd have fired Balky and I'd have kept Doug. But I would have said to Doug, look, you got to have two new coordinators, and if you don't want to do that, then you can move on. But if you do want to do that, I want you to still lead our football team. We'll find a GM that we both like, and we'll continue to do that. Balky, the couple of times that I've talked to him, and it's in that article, previous one that I posted before the Fred Taylor one, every time you talk to Trent, he always, gave you the "I'm smarter than you." A lot of hubris in that, which was not earned based on the record he had as an executive in his whole body of work. But, he always, anybody could have drafted Trevor. He picked Trayvon Walker instead of Aiden Hutchinson. Now, you can have that argument all you want that Trayvon Walker is a very solid player and a very good player. He is not an it player.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson is an it player, okay? You watch that guy play, things happen. Now, he may be out of position occasionally. He may get run over occasionally. But he's going to get you those sacks. He's going to make things happen in a game when it counts. So, those are the kind of decisions that Balky was making with the Jaguars, and that finds them where they are now. Trevor's not going to be a giant vocal rah-rah guy. He's just not that kind of guy. And, as I've said, there are a lot of quarterbacks who are not that kind of guy, but you need guys like that on your team. Who's the sheriff? And the Jaguars are still looking for that guy since Calais Campbell left.
Oh, man, well, we'll see what the future holds for him. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is still the guy? Do you think there's still not? I hate to say use the cliche. Is there some left in the tank? Is there gas left in the tank? Because obviously he's a young fella. Missed 5 games this last year at the end of the year due to injury. But do you think Liam Cohen can maybe revive or resuscitate, resurrect the career of Trevor Lawrence, which hasn't been terrible, but obviously he was kind of considered the hype around him was a generational type quarterback.
And he hasn't proved that yet, but people forget. And, in 22 and 23, he was a pretty damn good player. And that was when the offensive line gave him a lot of protection. And when you're a quarterback and you drop back and your first read is downfield and your second read is who's coming to kill me, it's kind of hard to play that position. And that's where Trevor found himself in the last a year and a half. He dropped back, and if his first read wasn't open, somebody on the offensive line was letting somebody through to kill him. And it's a difficult thing. You've got to be able to stand there and have confidence that the guys in front of you are going to give you those 3.5 seconds to throw the ball. He hasn't had that. So I think a new voice, Cohen was the offensive coordinator. If you look at his career, he's jumped around a little bit between college and the pros. Coordinator last year with Baker Mayfield, who had his best year as a quarterback. But unless you build those guys in front of him, it doesn't matter. Do I think Trevor is a talent? I think he's an unbelievable talent. And I think that they haven't figured out yet how to use him. He's more mobile than they give him the opportunity to be.
Right.
And it's sometimes I think it's hard for guys to see that because he is 6'6". So, get him out of the pocket a little bit, get him throwing the football. I just think there's a lot of stuff for Trevor to do in front of him in his career. And maybe Cohen's the right guy, but Trevor needs to hear a couple of new voices, which he will hear, and he needs a couple of new guys in front of him to make sure that he's taken care of. And by the way, one other thing, why weren't the Jaguars in the Derrick Henry sweepstakes? Did they really think that Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne were the actual answer? If you don't have a running game in that league that's feared by the guys on the other side of the line, and your quarterback is the only guy to get it done, so far, Josh Allen seems to be the only guy to get him that far. And, that's the guy I would tell Trevor to look at. Look at what Josh Allen does. Look at how he does it. And people talked a lot about Josh Allen early in his career about whether he was the guy. And he has certainly blossomed into perhaps the MVP this year.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how that race boils down between Lamar Jackson. Saquon Barkley obviously has to be involved in that as well, and Josh Allen. Both of them had pretty successful games in the divisional round game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And, man, who knows what kind of conversation we'd be having today had Mark Andrews caught that pass for the 2-point conversion. But let's ask you about the NFC Championship. We're on the line with Sam Kavaris. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Commanders and the Eagles right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Coverage starting at 1 p.m., kickoff at 2 p.m. The Eagles are a 6-point favorite. Sam, what do you think goes down in this game, and who will your winner be?
Hard to not pick the Eagles at home. If this game was anywhere else, I think it'd be a toss-up. But I think at this point, the Eagles are they're on a roll. That's the one thing. I think it'd be very hard to stop Barkley in that situation. And, if Jalen Hurts is healthy, and he has practiced all week, his ability to tuck it and go, I think, really rivals pretty much anybody else in the league. If you've ever stood next to Jalen Hurts, you realize this is not a little guy. He is a load. And I just think the Eagles have a lot playing at home. But, Jaden Daniels has been just a total surprise, I think, to everybody. And people thought that Brock Bowers was going to run away with their Rookie of the Year. Now you got to look at this guy and go, you wonder who's going to win that award because of the things that he's been able to do. And I don't know if you saw the breakdown earlier in the week about the difference between his ability to read defenses between week 1 and week 6. He is a quick study. So we'll see what happens. There are a lot of signs that point to the Commanders as the team of destiny, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, you run into a hard-nosed team that has a culture like the Eagles. I think that's a hard road. Now, cover, I don't know. But I'd probably take the over in this game.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. And Jaden Daniels but does give a lot of credit to waking up every morning at 5:30 a.m. and practicing with some virtual reality as well. The kid has been amazing. It's been a lot of fun to watch him throughout the year. And he just right there there's many games before the Bears, the Hail Mary against the Bears. But you're just like, wow, how does he keep on pulling these rabbits out of his hat, per se?
Right. What have they won? 8 one-score games, I think? Something ridiculous like that.
And those guys, I think that those, being battle-tested helps you in the playoffs. But, again, I think the word that you used in culture, I think that's what separates the great teams from the really good teams. And, you called in your article Trent Baalke a culture vulture. And hopefully the next general manager of the Jaguars is not that, but a culture builder. Bills and the Chiefs, 5:30 right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Chiefs just a 2-point favorite at the house. What do you think about this game?
Tough one, because I'd really like to see Josh Allen get to the Super Bowl. Right. I want to see him perform on that stage. And of course, I know there's a lot of Chiefs fatigue these days, but man, until somebody beats them, I think you got to pick them. When they're playing at home. Overall, if you look at the Chiefs top to bottom, they're a better team than the Bills. You can talk about Josh Allen. You can talk about things he's able to do. You can say what a great comeback DeMar Hamlin has had. But if you look at them top to bottom, the Chiefs are a better team than the Bills. And playing at home, I think you got to give them the nod.
There you go, Sam. I'll get you entered in for this contest, and we'll see if you can end up getting a pair of tickets to the Magic and the Kings on March 29th. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll chat with you soon, man. I've got some other questions that I'd like to ask you about some of the other head coaching hires, and you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to sports in general, but of course the NFL. Y'all go visit Sam's website, samsportsline.com. Great stuff there. Sam, thanks so much for chatting with us.
Man, always a pleasure, Dave. Thanks.
Absolutely. That's Sam Kovaris. Make sure to go follow him on Twitter. Make sure to go check out his website. And make sure to, make up a new ESPN Northwest Florida account. And let's get Sam to the Magic game. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Coming up next, we're going to be talking a little wrestling. Wrestling against Cancer 10. Tony Super, the Nelsonizer, and Jack Patterson are in the building with us.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer 10. Proceeds to help Ryan Holland. Stars to appear Mike Steele, Donnie B, AJ Stokes, Kelly Mann, and exciting women's wrestling with T. Gaines, JC Black, and more. Wrestling Against Cancer 10. Saturday, February 8th at Bay Haven Charter Academy in Panama City. Tickets available at the door. More info at ESPNPC.com.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Clear tonight with a low near 32 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine tomorrow morning, a light wind out of the east-northeast and a temperature 49. Warmer in the afternoon and evening around 54 with sunshine and a wind at 3 miles per hour out of the east-southeast. Mostly sunny Sunday, a light breeze and warm around 59. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Weekdays from 4 till 6. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back into the Doghouse. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. And I want to encourage you guys to keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida, because now on your smart speaker for in-home listening, all you got to do is say, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the sports talk and live play-by-play. And keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. It also works with Siri. You just have to say, hey Siri, open 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And if needed, you can head over to our website, ESPNPC.com, and click Enable Skill. All right, we have Jack Patterson, Tony Super, and the Nelsonizer in the building with us for Wrestling Against Cancer 10. And this was all of these. I love that you've asked me to be a part, or just even coming to the event. Wrestling Against Cancer 10 means a ton to me, not just 10. Wrestling Against Cancer in general means so much to me, as much as it means to a lot of other people. And obviously the first installment was dealing with your sister's bout against cancer. This one is for Ryan Holland, and that happens to be my cousin. So it just hits a little bit closer to home with this one. We've got a lot of things going on. Dunkin' Donuts this Saturday at Lynn Haven. Tony, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Tomorrow morning from 9 to noon. Come on in. We're going to be there at Dunkin' Donuts, Lynn Haven, Highway 77. Come on in between 9 and noon, purchase your ticket, and if you purchase your ticket tomorrow, I will buy you whatever Dunkin' favorite drink choice is And donut too if you want one.
Hey, there you go, man. And if you guys don't know, I'm sure if you've been around any Dunkin' Donuts in this city, you've seen Tony at some point in time. He's a big supporter, a big ambassador. I would call you an ambassador of Dunkin' Donuts. Is that
that's a good choice of words?
That's a good choice of words. Jack, what you got?
He's also a part of Guardian's legacy.
Yeah,
because matter of fact, they're bringing their ring this time to use it. Guardians, and that's how they're giving in to help Ryan.
I believe they did that last year, right? I met Skip last year.
Yeah.
Right, so that's really awesome stuff. One of the more creative promotions that I've seen is Guardian's Legacy. We've got a champion in here as well in the Nelsonizer, who will put you in a full Nelson if you don't act right around him. But yeah, a big shout out to Guardian's Legacy. You want to talk a little bit about that, Tony?
Guardian's Legacy, first Saturday of each month. Come on out. We got a show next Saturday, February 1st. Tag You're It. Too.
Tag You're It, that's the name of it?
It's called, and it's in line with Valentine's Day for February.
Gotcha.
Every match is a tag team match.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting event for it to be all tag teams. A lot of fun there. And is it going to be at Rosenwald?
Always at Rosenwald.
Always at Rosenwald there. And it's got like a comic book theme to, or I don't want to say font. I think that's the right word, right? Like it's really hip, I would say.
Well,
hip is an old school type word, right?
It's a faith-based, family-friendly promotion at the Legacy Arena there. And every Saturday, and it's incredible athletes.
Is it every Saturday?
First Saturday of each month. I'm sorry.
Okay, wow, great stuff. So you can get back-to-back wrestling February 1st, February 8th. February 8th, we'll be at the Bayhaven Charter Academy. That'll be Wrestling Against Cancer 10. February 1st, we'll be Tag You're It. Tag You're It 2?
Tag You're It 2. Right.
Tag You're It 2. You going to be in that event?
That I am.
That you are, man.
Hey, if there's wrestling in town, the full Nelsonizer is going to be there. Hey. You can't do it without it, man. I have to be there.
Hey, the champ's got to be there, man.
Champ's got to be there, man.
Hold that belt up one time, man.
Check it out.
Matter of fact, that belt will be defended on Wrestling Against Cancer, by the way.
That belt will be...
It will be defended on the...
So how are we making that happen? Who are you going to be taking? Is that a secret right now on who he's going to be taking on at Wrestling Against Cancer 10?
Honestly, I'm not...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not booking this show this year. I am just doing a lot of legwork because I let New Heights, the owner of New Heights, is booking this show for Wrestling Against Cancer 10 this year. And if Waylon's listening, maybe he can call in if he wants to talk about who he's going to be going against.
And any of our listeners can call in or text in or comment along with us on Facebook, as the numbers are starting to boom up here as we're talking Wrestling Against Cancer 10. We're talking Guardians Legacy with Tony Super. We've got the Nelsonizer. We've got Jack Patterson. All right, so we've got Dunkin' Donuts. That's going to be this Saturday, January 25th, right?
Tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness. It does feel a little bit earlier in the week just because of all the snow. Hey, let's talk about that. How'd y'all feel about the snow days that we just had in Panama City?
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan. You're one of the few.
I'm from upstate New York.
Oh, so you've had plenty of that in your entire life.
Not a big fan.
How about you, Nelsonizer?
Got to be a kid again, man.
Yeah.
Got to be a kid again.
That's how I felt.
Yep.
Having snow in Panama City, Florida was like having a new toy to everybody. Because we never get it.
Right. I woke up Wednesday and I felt like I was on vacation because the only times that I've seen snow is when I'm in Colorado, Tennessee, or West Virginia and, waking up and seeing the snow in the yard. And I'm just like, this doesn't feel real, but it feels real cool. So there is that. What are some other things that we can look forward to Wrestling Against Cancer 10? What's one of your favorite things about not even just 10 here, but Wrestling Against Cancer in general?
I look forward to it every year. I look forward to doing it because it means so much to me to help people. And I just want to be able to give back to people, because wrestling was my thing and that I love to do. And right now that I'm not wrestling, can't wrestle anymore because of medical issues right now. But I just feel like
what do you feel like? You feel like answering the phone. He wants to answer the phone.
No, I don't want to answer the phone. It says, but it just means so much to me because I can do things. I can give a benefit to help somebody, something that I love to do, and it helps them. And I just want to give back to people.
Yeah, giving back is huge. Tony, what you've been? I know that I saw you last year at Wrestling Against Cancer 10 at Bay Haven Charter Academy. You're a huge supporter of wrestling promotions. Obviously, a big part of Guardian's legacy. What's one of your favorite things of Wrestling Against Cancer and kind of the uniqueness of this event?
I mean, just being able to help a specific individual.
Yeah.
But seeing everybody come together and show their love and support for whoever that benefits for that night.
Yeah. Nelson Iser, I've seen you at least at 2, maybe 3 of the events. No doubt about that.
Year after year for the past, 3-4 years, I believe? Yeah.
At least. What's one of your favorite parts about working the event? Because it is a different event for you guys to work rather than the normal promotions.
It is. I mean, that's what I try to tell people that, yes, we run Guardian's Legacy. You can come see the full Nelson there at Guardian's Legacy, right? And I see a lot of fans. I interact with a lot of fans all the time. And that's why I try to tell people, even though the Wrestling Against Cancer show ain't that far away, I get to meet new fans there, too.
Yeah.
It's so wild. So we get to meet all kinds of fans everywhere we go. And I travel, too, outside of Panama City. We go all the way to Tennessee, Georgia.
Yeah, you were talking about that last year.
So we go all over. So the thing is that getting to see different faces just down the road, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So, and one thing I do want to touch on, though, we're talking about what do we want to give, One of my things I want to give is for Ryan Holland, okay?
Yeah.
I want to put my title on the line that night for Ryan Holland, okay? I'm doing it for Ryan Holland. And we don't know, I've asked Jack, even Tony's been asking, who are you defending this title against, right?
Oh.
Who are you defending against? Nobody knows, but there's been rumors.
Oh,
there's been
rumors?
There's been some rumors. I've even heard that there may be a triple threat. I don't know yet. I've put the challenge out there. I tell them, hey, you give me whoever. I don't care.
If it's a triple threat, I'm coming out as your manager at that point, because if someone gets in the way, I'm going to have to pull on their legs and put your legs on the rope if you get pinned.
Hey, man, I might need all the help I got.
Well,
what I can get. Yeah, but hey, for Ryan Holland, I'm willing to do it.
Hey, I'm right there with it. We do have a something on the bottom of my foot on the line, Cali, man. We're not going to go to him just yet, Bone Crusher. I want to make him wait, let him marinate on the phone for just a little bit.
No, I got some things with Cali.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bring him on the line, but I want to let him stew a little bit. It's cold weather right now. I think we could all enjoy a little bit of stew. Let me ask you guys this though. This is a little bit different of a version of Wrestling Against Cancer because it's a part of the family, and that's one thing that I've realized about being able to be backstage at some point in times is that there might be feuds, but at the end of the day, this all promotions, Panama City Wrestling is a family, and it's a beautiful thing. What makes this different about it being for one of your own?
Go ahead and answer. I'm gonna feed off y'all because I'm just trying to
check your phone, Jack. It's a tough question to answer though because it is different.
It is, but it ain't. And the way I'm going to explain it is basically like this. Anybody we've done this for, even the fans that comes out to the shows, that's why we call it. Come out, we do it for the kids, for families. And after a while of doing that, you start becoming family with everybody else. Everybody feels like they're family because you start knowing everybody, you start interacting with people all the time, and having that one-on-one. Some people just come to you and it's like you've known them all your life. And so that's the thing about you're meeting all these people, and even some of the people we've ran the shows for Wrestling Against Cancer that we've done these fundraisers for and stuff in the past. There's been families on the outside of wrestling, but they've been families that's been...
And they become family.
Well, they was fans. They was fans. They was already family.
And they become family even more so within the wrestling community after that. But this guy has been a part, a part of the shows. And
somehow or another, they're always interconnected somehow or another. They was mainly a fan, or there's a fan that recommended them or something like that. Then they became a fan or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's basically
it's hard to go see one of these shows and not become a fan. And I'm sure you see that all the time at Guardian's Legacy.
Wrestling Against Cancer was based off of different wrestlers coming in from different promotions to help this person. And once we did a benefit for like Liam when I did it for him last year. Miss Donna, just every one of them, and you become family to me. I mean, that's family to me. I mean, may not be blood related, but they're family. And I base this off of helping them people that need help. And like next year, it might be somewhere besides here. It might be in Bonifay. It might be just anywhere else. But for the last, this is third year, it's been for somebody here that lives here. Because Ryan, I helped train Ryan.
Right. You're in Chief Littleberry. Yes, sir.
I helped train him.
I've been watching y'all for a long time.
And Ryan, it hits hard to me because he's my brother. Even though we're not blood related,
right?
He's my brother. And I just love helping people. And I just, it's just, I'm about to tear up now.
Yeah, and it's also tough for you too, Jack, because you also not only was the first installment for your sister, not only have you been through health situations yourself and have been battling through those, so you know what he's going through, and then all of you know how tough it is for someone who wrestles on a regular basis to kind of be put on the sideline and not allowed to wrestle anymore, or at least for the time being, and then them having to watch at their own benefit, you know, and they would love nothing more than to be a part of it. Tony, do you have any words to add to this?
I mean, Jack was a wrestler for many, many years.
Right.
Nelson is a current wrestler. I've never been a wrestler, of course.
It looked like one. I know you could stomp me out. So,
but it's all about brotherhood.
Yeah,
it's all about brother. You mention family, but it's about brotherhood, being there for your brother.
All right, let's get over to the phone line. Hopefully you're a little bit closer to on fire now, Callie, man. Callie, man, what do you got for us, brother? I'll let it go in one ear and out the other.
Let me guess, Callie, first. Hey, Callie, let me tell you. I know what you're going to say.
Lord.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say you're the best on the show, and it's all about you and all that stuff, aren't you?
Well, I mean, if you want to tell the truth before I can get it out of my mouth, Jackie, that's fine with me. But, no, I was actually... how dare you make me wait? Let's start there. I'm the Cali man, son. I don't
this
wait
is the Afternoon Underdogs, and it ain't got nothing to do with Cali, man. This is, if anything, the Florida Man show.
You know what? If you want to keep, you know what? Everybody knows you wanted to pop a rating, so they got me calling in. Pop a rating for you guys because you guys were losing.
Actually, our numbers are going down as every word that comes out of your sorry mouth.
Hey, I got Bob Iger on speed dial, pal. You understand? You don't keep me waiting. He's my number 2 contact. And if I need to shut this whole thing down, I will. I'm the Wrestling Against Cancer champion. I know you got the Nelsonizer in there with this pretty little belt from the Guardians, and I got no problem with him at the current time, to be honest with you. And I love Tony. He gives me coffee and donuts. What a good man he is. And Jackie, you know, well, he's a little washed up and retired, but I mean, he's not a bad guy. He puts on this show every year.
That's
I heard you talking about brotherhood, right? What it means for Ryan Holland. Now, as you know, me and Ryan Holland have teamed together Wrestling Against Cancer. Is that not true, Jackie?
It is true. I helped put y'all sorry tales through a table.
That's right. We've been on the same side of the fence. But did you notice something at all those shows? Every time that me and him team together, we're losers. Well, more than likely, actually, he was the loser because after I broke him and left him, now I'm the Wrestling Against Cancer champion for 2 years running. Come on. He was dragging me down. I feel bad for the guy and everything, but what really needs to go on February 8th is you need to come see the Cali man defend his championship. It's really about me. This is all just fluff for the radio. It's about the Cali man defending his championship. We all know that, right, Jackie? That's why you booked the main event with me in it, because you know I pop the numbers, I draw the fans. Tell them, Jackie.
Well, Cali, I hate to hurt your feelings. You might be before the main event this year because there's a WIW reunion match that night, and that's going to be the main event. That's what I've been told. So you may be semi-main.
I think you should make him the third match.
Or fourth, and I'm still going to be the main event in the fans.
I got an idea, Callie. How about when we start doing the raffling? Hey, Callie, shut up for a second. All right? When we're doing the raffling, I think that's when his match should be going on. Right in the middle of the raffling, so no one's paying attention to your sorry tale.
Maybe before the show starts.
Raffle tickets that way.
In the parking
lot. Some raffle tickets, you'll do like that. Here's the thing: you're dragging out all these old sorry guys from WIW, a place that's been gone for 100 years now, or something like that.
Kelly, man, hey,
come on.
Wait a minute. I first got to ask you: do you even know who you're facing at Wrestling Against Cancer?
I do. Oh my! You might.
You know your opponent. I don't even know mine.
Hear me out, though. You're going to laugh at this, dude, because he's like, you're talking about washed-up guys from old WIW. I am wrestling Preston Veston III, who hasn't wrestled, by the way, in over 2 years. We all know he needs surgery on his feet for heel spurs, and you're putting me in the ring with this guy? I'm going to cripple him. He's never coming back.
I don't know, Callie. Hey, I've been seeing that boy train here recently.
He's going to stomp them heel spurs into your ugly head, boy.
He's training at Duncan with Tony, putting a dozen of them away every morning is what I think's happening.
Shots fired. Speaking of Duncan, Callie, a lot of fans been asking me, are you going to be appearing tomorrow in Lynn Haven?
Well, you know what I always say, Tony? Do you got enough money for me to show up?
Oh,
He's got enough donuts
Got
for
some
you.
donuts and coffee, maybe.
I mean, yeah, I understand. I know you always hook me up in that retrospect. I mean, I can't make no guarantees,
Sure.
unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm not a guy who makes guarantees unless the money's on the table and the championships are there.
Okay.
And I think ESPN knows what I'm talking about because they deal with real champions. That's the only reason Callie Man got a speed dial into here. And your loser, who's overproduction, put me on some kind of hold. Even though I know Bob Iger, me and Bob Iger are like this, you understand? We're close. We're peas in a pod.
And that is exactly why we'll be chatting with Preston Veston before you, because we put real winners over losers every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Woody says, first match, Crappy Man? Is that how you pronounce that? Crappy Man? Taking on Preston Veston, who's listening right now to your I can't even call you trailer trash because you can't even afford a trailer. You're still living in a dang cardboard box, Callie Man. Get over there to the fires and help him out a little bit, all right? Preston says he hasn't been... shut up on my show, okay? I haven't been out of the rain for 2 years, Preston says, and he's still going to flood you, Callie Man. And Kristen says, hey, Ryan and I are listening over here. Thanks so much, guys. We love you, Kristens. Keep up the great work, and shout out to my cousin Ryan, who will be here next Friday with us as well. Callie Man, I'll give you an opportunity to save your face, even though you're a damn hill, and we're going to take a quick timeout, okay? Just hang on the line for us, brother. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Clear tonight with a low near 32 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine tomorrow morning, a light wind out of the east-northeast and a temperature 49. Warmer in the afternoon and evening around 54 with sunshine and a wind at 3 miles per hour out of the east-southeast. Mostly sunny Sunday, a light breeze and warm around 59. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Billboard Kia. The road is yours in 2025. Let Kia take you on New Year adventures and drive away today in a new 2025 Kia from Billboard Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Billboard Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillboardKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage with $1,748 per month per $1,000 finance and 60 months. Quality's limited. Not to be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billboard Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 2/3/25.
Often imitated, never duplicated. The official sports station of the Panhandle. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. You're in the doghouse, and we're chatting right now about some live pro wrestling. That'll be Saturday, February 8th. Wrestling Against Cancer 10. All proceeds from this event will go to benefit Ryan Holland and his cancer medical expenses. What's that? Okay, all right. Bayhaven Charter Academy is where this is going to be. The address there, 2501 Hawks Landing Boulevard, right here in Panama City. Tickets are $20 for front row. Only have 13 of them left. And if you buy, what happens if you buy your tickets before the day of the event? And tomorrow's a great time to go get them over there at Dunkin' Donuts.
Tomorrow's a perfect day to go get and scoop up your tickets tomorrow. If you purchase your tickets in advance before the show.
Just front row, though.
Just front row.
Yeah, right.
Your name's going to be put into a raffle for a drawing the night of the show. $50 cash from Jack and a $50 Dunkin' gift card for myself.
Hey, there you go, right there. That's enough reason to spend $20 for front row. Tickets for adults are just $12. If you're 6 to 17, you get in for $8, and children 5 and under get in free. The doors are going to open at 5:30, bell time at 6:30, and it's always a great show. I mean, if you haven't been to a wrestling show here in Panama City, you really are missing out. This is one of my favorite events. You also have Tag Your It 2 with Guardians Legacy coming up February 1st at Rosenwald at the Legacy Gym?
Legacy Arena.
Legacy Arena. That's the word I was going to use, but I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page there. Also, January 30th, Slim Chickens in Callaway. What do we have going on, Jack?
Yeah, everybody come out to Slim Chickens next Thursday night from between 2 and 10 o'clock, 2 to 10 on Thursday. And everyone that buys something to eat, a part of that sale goes to Ryan Holland. For 10% of it goes to Ryan Holland.
Which actually turns into being a pretty big
for 8
deal.
hours.
Yeah. But we got to have people there to do it, because if we don't get enough, he won't get anything. That's what I'm trying to get everybody there as much as possible. Any fan, any wrestler. Matter of fact, me and Preston's going to be there about 5 o'clock Thursday. And we encourage all wrestlers to come out and eat with us, and we'll be eating for Ryan. That's what I'm saying.
Eating for Ryan. I like that. That sounds like that sounds like a event right there. Cali, man, what are you going to be doing January 30th, you piece of trash?
Hey, well, I was going to try to come out there and eat some Slim Chickens, but since Preston's going to be there, he's probably going to eat enough to raise about, $200,000 for Ryan Holland at 10%, I would say. I mean, did you see his comments where he mentioned in the ring? He said in the rain, because his big red-hot sausage fingers couldn't type the right words down in the comment section. Good Lord.
All right, Cali, man, I've had enough of you. Bone Crusher, go ahead and dump him. Thank you very much.
What was that?
You're gone. Go talk to Don Iger, whoever it is that's your second in contact line, whatever. Go talk to your wall. That would be better than talking to us. 850-215-62. I'm serious, Bone Crusher. Get rid of that guy. He's just pain in my rear end. Oh, yeah. Keep on listening, Cali, man. That would do us wonders around here. Really excited for next Friday. We're going to have what? Are we doing 4 to 5 or 5 to 6? I forgot which one I told you. Next Friday.
Next Friday, we got an hour.
Got it. I know that. Yep. So it's either one, 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. We will check. I know that we have it in our records. January 30th, Slim Chickens from 2 to 10 p.m. 10% of the proceeds of the meals that you go buy go to Ryan Holland. And then also tomorrow, Dunkin' Donuts from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Till noon.
9 a.m. to noon at Lynn Haven Dunkin' Donuts. Another opportunity for you guys to help out Ryan Holland and then also meet some great people of your Panama City community. Jack, it's really not a big deal, my friend. I have it in my text messages, and we will figure it out. Preston, if you're listening, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out to call in to the radio station, 850-215-6290. If you're listening with us on Facebook and you have any questions for the Nelsonizer, you can text those in or comment them in right now, and we will ask them also for Tony Super or Jack Patterson. Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is going to be February 8th against at the Bayhaven Charter Academy. Now, you don't know your opponent, What made in the world in the sports of football, baseball, like we watch film, all of that stuff? How difficult does it make it when you're getting ready for a match and you don't know? You're putting your belt on the line, which you sacrifice blood, you sacrifice sweat, you sacrifice tears to earn the Guardians Legacy Champion, and you don't even know your opponent. What disservice
That's the
is
thing.
that?
This right here, that's what this represents. Okay.
Your blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, actually, it represents experience.
Ooh, I like that.
Experience.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, you know, we all live and learn, right? I've been there. So I've been wrestling since I was 14 years old. So we're talking about 2000, okay? And here we are in 2025. I've had 25 years to figure it out.
There you go.
And there's been, in my early careers, I showed up not knowing any of my opponents. I didn't even know some of my opponents till I got out to the ring. So I'm prepared. But I would like to know. I am curious. It's the curiosity that gets me.
Curiosity killed the cat.
And I'm not going to be, I'm kind of wondering, how did Cali Man, how does he know his opponent? And the Nelsonizer don't know his opponent.
Sometimes you know how it goes for those evil people.
I can
Sometimes
answer that
they
question for you about Preston.
Well, here we go. Jack's going to give us a little insider information.
Well, Preston Veston came to me and he said he wanted to wrestle Cali Man for the championship. So before I turned the booking over to Waylon, I already had that match planned anyway. So we didn't know if he's going to make it for sure because he got injured. But he says, "Man, I can do it, man. I promise I can do it. I can take care of Cali, man."
You know, I'll take the blame because I blame it on myself because I did say I will take on anyone for Ryan Holland.
Yeah.
So you know, it's on me. It's on me. But the curiosity is what's getting to me.
Hey, there you go.
And I find it very odd. How does Cali Man know?
Well, we can hear it straight from the horse's mouth, though, because we've got Preston Veston on the line with us. Preston, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Also, we've got Tony Super, we've got Jack Patterson, and we've got the Nelsonizer in the building with us, who has yet to find out his opponent, but you know the sorry piece of trash that you're going to be taking on from the western state of California. Tell us, what is your plan with the Hill Spurs that you've been dealing with?
See, I came to Jackie Patterson for this because Dr. Hawkins is the one that's been working with me and everything and getting me ready for my surgery. And I asked him a couple months ago, what would it do if I could get in the ring for the Wrestling Against Cancer? At this time, months ago, we didn't know what we were doing, this, that, and other. I just wanted the opportunity. And I know that Cali, he runs his mouth about everything and all that. And that's good and all, but I believe in working hard. I'm going to show him the hard way. Mr. Hawkins told me, he said he gave me the green light for one last match. And I'm going to take him to the limit. It doesn't matter where Jackie puts us on the card. We're going to be the main event, and we're going to tear it down, and I'm going to walk out with that title. And then when I come back, I'm going to be back better than ever, and I'm going to show the world, me and Ryan both is, what we can do.
Oh, so a little painting of the future canvas, if you will. I like to hear that. And I like to hear that you're going to give it one more go here. Now, tell me, what does this, I've seen you for the last 4 or 5 Wrestling Against Cancers. What feels different about this one, being that it's for a close friend of yours in the big deal, Ryan Holland?
Well, actually, I've been there since the beginning.
Well, yeah, I'm saying what I've seen. All right. Don't get too technical on me over here, Preston. I'm trying to stick up for you.
Because we've only had ESPN for probably 6 years now.
Yeah, I would say this is the 5th year right here.
Going on 5th or 6th.
Yeah, it might be going on 6. I've been here for 5 or 6 years. Anyways, Preston, I'm cutting into your time because we only have 2 minutes left, so keep on.
Oh, no, you're good. But what's more special about this one more than others, if anybody knows the history, not just between me and Cali, but me and Ryan, the battles that we've had against each other and how close we became friends. And then when I found out this was for him, that's when I was like, well, this is my WrestleMania. It's going to be my WrestleMania moment. This is going to be my time to help my best friend, because he is my best friend. And I want to promote this. I want to sell it out. I want standing room only. And I want this for Ryan, because I think number 10 is going to be the best one we have, and it's going to be hard to compete for every year after this, because there's so many special people on this show from the past, present, and even the future. And I'm so proud to be part of it. I'm glad to see these young guys, and I'm glad to finally get a chance to show Callie, because last time we were in the ring, I took something for him. I'm going to do it again. He seems to forget that, but with an ego that big, well, you see what it is. He probably forgets everything. So it's going to be special. This is going to be the biggest one yet. I know it is. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been training. I've been doing hard. Like I said, Dr. Hawkins told me that I'm on the schedule. I'm down weight. Callie's underestimated me, but he's getting a new Preston and a new beginning, because when I come back after my surgery, I plan on being the best on the Gulf Coast again.
I love it, Preston. Thank you so much for calling in. Callie, man, I'm not appreciative of you calling in, but it was necessary. Nelson Iser, thanks so much for putting your title on the line for Ryan Holland. The Guardians Legacy Championship belt on the line. Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow from 9 to 12 in Lynn Haven. Guardians Legacy show is going to be February 1st at Rosenwald, the Legacy Arena. Tag your it. Number 2, Wrestling Against Cancer 10 is going to be February 8th, the very next Saturday at the Bay Haven Charter Academy. Lynn Haven's, Callaway Slim Chickens is going to be January 30th from 2 to 10 p.m. We're out. Jesus loves you. So do I. Y'all have a great evening.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The number 1 ranked Auburn Tigers are on a tear. They'll put their 17-1 record on the line tomorrow versus 17-2 Tennessee, as the number 6 ranked Volunteers will play inside the jungle. Coverage starts tomorrow night at 7. Tip off at 7:30 on your home for the most college basketball and the Auburn Tigers.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN North.